But that's how my mind works. Welcome to
Such,
Section 31, episode number 375. I'm Dan Hammond.
and I am Rogue Schindler.
This week we're going to be talking about some television shows. I have been catching up and have caught up with the Orville, and if I'm not mistaken, you're caught up and have been watching Discovery.
I am, and I have.
All right. Well, let's talk about the Orville first, and then
Yes.
we'll then you'll give me your pitch for me spending money to watch that show too.
Sounds good.
All right. So, you remember what the episode we talked about last time? Was it Home?
Yes, Home.
All right. So there's nothing left on the earth but the fishes, or there'll be nothing.
Yes.
And then
Birthday cake.
Birthday cake. All right. So was it you that said that the first officer, so the security person, had to leave the show because Tasha Yar left the show in the second season?
Yes.
All right. That's just weird. Never made the connection, but interesting. This seemed like I don't know. This kind of reminded me of someone coming back. I don't know. I thought more of Selah in this episode for some reason. I don't know why, but we got I guess it was more of a reverse major recall.
Or like Ileana Gamor.
Sure. Ooh, that's a weird one. That episode just messed with my head. I don't know what was going on there.
Yeah.
We got someone who was introduced 2 or 3 episodes ago, slid in and became a major player, and then was revealed to be someone from last season, which was a great tie-in, and bad guy. So that was great. That was unexpected. I didn't see it coming. Did you have any idea?
Probably not until they expected you to. Once they started torturing her, I was like, I bet she's the bad guy.
I honestly had no idea, because I will say I don't remember every bit of that episode that she was in the first season.
Yeah.
I should go back and watch it again and then watch this one. But everything looked pretty good continuity-wise. It looked like they had the same directors come in and do both episodes, the same musical score guy. So everything led very well into each other. But I had no idea until she showed up. I'm like, hey, she looks familiar. Hey, she's from last season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. As soon as her voice comes in, it was like, oh, it's going to be her. And that's going to be like, I didn't know it was going to be the same one from last season, but I was like, I bet she's undercover Sealock. Maybe that's a better example.
Yeah. Yeah. Perfect. I think had I been a better fanatic of the show, perhaps finding out, who the actress was and what she's done in the past might have tipped that off. I don't know. Was that same actress?
I would assume so. I did not verify, but at the same time, like, Star Trek loves reusing actors. So I don't know that I would have immediately jumped to that. Especially how Seth MacFarlane seems to love patterning all of the Star Trek, habits. So I could totally see him, maybe she's a friend of an actor or a producer or something, or just somebody that the creative team really likes. And so they keep casting her. I would not have immediately jumped to her coming back, or certainly not that that lieutenant was going to be the same character.
Yeah. I mean, because in her other role, she's clearly got, a ton of makeup on, so you wouldn't recognize her as such.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I thought they handled that really well. It was really interesting. Odd use of a King and I reference. I mean, I could see where they were going once I parsed that out, but I did like that they took the captain in that direction of, you know what, I don't believe you, and not in a desperate, like, love me kind of way, but more of a just, we gotta we got to start somewhere. And I don't think, I felt like we had some moments, and, even if it's not romantic, we have things in common, and, hey, we should, it could have, it very easily could have just been, oh my God, I can't believe you played me for the fool. I'm so mad. And, I'm never going to forgive you. And, which is obviously what the Krill were expecting. And so it was an interesting direction. And for him it was very Starfleet captain like response.
Yeah, and we'll get a little bit into it about the next episode, but for the most part, he's not a great. Pretty good captain, not a great diplomat.
Not so much.
So that was a pretty good jump for his character. I guess he had a big personal stake in it, to want to reach out the olive branch with what had happened in the previous episode, where he was doing the undercover part, right? Infiltration. It totally, made to look like the enemy. I can't even remember why they were on that ship. Were they trying to steal?
Because she wanted to go on. Oh, you mean the first episode?
Yeah.
No, I don't remember.
Yeah, I just remember two of them terrible in a terrible situation where they were dressed up like them and just bumbling idiots.
Yeah, was it like an intel mission?
Maybe so.
Vaguely Section 31-ish.
Yeah, but now I got to go back and watch it because I did.
Yeah.
I enjoyed both of those. I enjoyed the episode. I think there were one or two parts that were weird, but I'm blanking on them now. So overall, it must have been pretty good.
Yeah, no, I agree. I enjoyed it. I like that, the way their relationship continued to be interesting even after it wasn't a relationship anymore. I like the way they carried it over into being stranded on the ground, and he basically, forced her, called her bluff, shoot me or I'm going to go do the beacon.
I like that it gave us some kind of world building, showed us different things that are happening in the universe. You've got the Krill folks and the folks that were fighting them, and we get a lot of backstory on them. That's just how it is. So let's just roll with it and keep going.
Yeah. I did like, and it's almost forgettable, evidenced by the fact that we haven't mentioned it yet, but the B plot in that kind of took me aback, which was kind of the Counselor Troy taking the bridge officer's test. But Malloy, which, I guess, if you're going for the least expecting member of the crew, which Troy was at the time, then Malloy fits. But it was just like, the one thing I did like about that was the callback to the diplomatic part of it was, him failing that similar situation in the simulator over and over and over again. And then, that called back to at the end when the captain's like, "Oh nope, call a ship, come get you, go home."
Yeah, and that's command. Yeah, that was pretty good. I did like the Corbomite maneuver reference that he gave. That was pretty funny. I was not expecting that, but not nearly delivered as well as Captain Kirk.
Not quite.
No.
But yeah, that was pretty funny.
All right. So the next episode, one about birthday cake. Every day is a birthday cake or something like that.
Yes. Something full of birthday cake. Yeah, I can't remember.
We've got the crew doing a first contact. And I have to say, when they got the message and they kind of did this montage of just throughout the ship, everyone just getting pumped and happy. It's like, that was awesome. That was inspiring. I did a really good job with that. I was excited. That was just fun. I mean, they really conveyed what that excitement would be from just all decks. That was great.
Yeah, I like that a lot. That was definitely, it was something unexpected, and there's one thing, like the TNG Starfleet, everything is always taken in stride. It's like, yes, excellent, that's very good. We get to make first contact, number one. But yeah, they were pumped and excited tonight. That's like why you're out here, to get to explore and meet, new civilizations. And they got one. So I imagine it would probably be that few and far between. And you'd get that excited about it. So yeah, I really liked that. Um,
It was an interesting take on, the not there's no prime directive. There's a, if you call out for help, we'll come and say hi. If you
yeah,
just say hello,
exactly.
if you ask a question, we'll answer it, but we're not gonna, poke around unless we get the big hello, right?
Yeah, ask and we shall answer.
Yeah, that was
But
kind of cool.
but not until then. That was a cool, relative. There's a lot of things parallels that they have, and then they're like glaring omissions that you're like, probably not a bad omission. Like, I constantly forget that they don't have transporters. Like
Right.
whenever they're trying to like rescue somebody or they need to pick somebody up or something, they're like, okay, let's take a shuttle. I'm like, why are they taking a shuttle? Oh, right, they don't have transporters, which is probably great. I mean,
Great for the writers.
yeah, I'm sure, that's so many, it's like designing yourself into a corner.
Yeah. No, there's subsystem interference. We can't use the transporters. All right.
Yeah, exactly. You don't have to come up with something every episode as to why this can't be solved by beaming everybody up. So that was cool, just in general. But that actually led to both of those episodes actually made more interesting by the fact that they needed the shuttle to go pick them up. And another thing I liked about this episode was that they did not shy away from doing a time gap, or not a gap, but like a,
Yeah. They came back from the commercial break and said, "Hey, it's been a month."
yeah, exactly. You need to get out of there, Admiral Ted Danson.
Admiral Ted Danson might have been my favorite part of the. I mean, it was like, oh, that was wild.
Yeah,
that was great. I'm constantly impressed by the people that show up. I mean, it was last time we talked about Robert Picardo and Eris Devorta, right?
That's right. Yeah. Well, one of these, I don't remember which. One of the two episodes was directed by Robert Duncan McNeil.
Right.
Yeah, of Voyager fame.
Mr. Paris. Yeah.
Yeah, which confused me because the most recent episode of Discovery was directed by Jonathan Frakes, and I was like, I thought I remember telling Dan that this was directed by Robert Downey McNeil, and I was like, oh wait, no, that's the Orville. So,
this episode I thought had enough. It was so previous episode was a good, counterinsurgency, intelligence, some interesting plot going on. This episode was back to a classic Star Trek. Let's take a modern day phenomenon and examine it from a extreme science fiction point of view, right?
yeah.
After the what was it? Was it Home that they were bashing on anti-vaxxers, and in this one they're bashing on astrology. I swear, there's going to be a flat Earth bashing episode before the end of the season.
God, well, isn't that like they had the 2D space already?
That's funny. Yes.
So that was a flat Earth.
We've got this entire planet of people who hate the Gilliacs, which I thought was great. I thought it was going to be, wow, they did a very good job at the very when they were doing the tour, and the doctor got to see all the cesarean sections. I'm like, man, they really don't like people being born naturally. Everything's got to be cesarean, and it was nope, total right turn later on. It was because of the window. They didn't want anything to be born under a sign.
Yeah, so much more. Like, not, I guess, mundane of a reason rather than like a biological one.
Yeah, it harkens back to there's a few episodes where they go to a planet and it's got great society, and then they find that one thing wrong with it. The total astrology, going nuts. So I like the premise. It was a fun exploration of what happens if a scientific culture has an extreme idiotic view on something,
right?
But there were problems, like why didn't they just cloak a shuttle and land it in the middle of camp and let them hop on board and fly away?
Yeah.
Why? Why was the thing was so close in orbit that people in a different city would see the star as somewhere else entirely, right?
Yeah. I
Uh,
thought that was weird that it was so close.
it should have been very, very far away.
Yeah.
Uh, but I was willing to look past those two things. I liked Captain as just being completely incompetent at diplomacy. After it
Hey,
just,
what the hell's going on?
can't you see that you're just dumb about this?
Yeah.
Uh, that was great.
Yeah.
He's not, like I said, he's not Picard. He's not going to go in and eloquently argue his people free.
Right.
You know, it took some pretty evil. I mean, not to say evil, but questionably ethical decision, right? Because they're going to find out about that eventually, as they mentioned at the very end of the episode.
Yeah, that felt like very. I mean, as we mentioned, they don't have a prime directive. I don't even know if that matters, but that's still very like seriously disingenuous. And like, what are they going to do? Like, I love that their whole philosophy is like, by the time they're advanced enough to figure it out, they'll be like, oh, we were so silly back then. It's okay. Like, wow, that's like a really cavalier attitude towards that.
There was a whole diplomatic envoy coming, so
Yeah.
them smooth it over, right?
Well, yeah, exactly. I also was kind of like, I liked the idea, like they were on to something of, oh, cool, a star went out in that constellation, and that they took that as an omen, and so they went this direction with it. How do we use that? And then they like somehow jump from that to, well, if we make the star come back, they'll instantly think all of those people are fine. I'm like, I feel like you missed a couple steps in there, but we were running out of time to
Could
write
be,
this
yeah.
episode or something. But that was really the logical jump for me, where I was like, eh.
Yeah.
And I also kind of like again, like ingrained in the Starfleet mentality, right? When Kelly and Bortus
They
are like
killed
trying to
everyone.
escape, they were like, I'm like, are they like kneecapping people or trying to stun people? Like, nope. They're like, I'm tired of this. It's been a month. They think we're shitheads anyway. Let's kill them all and get out of here. I was like,
Yeah.
holy crap.
So they had, I mean, watching the camp, right? When we first see the camp, everyone's scared, right? Everyone on the inside, they're totally benign, right? There's none of this, whatever they thought these people were going to be, reckless killers,
Right.
right? There was one guy in the whole camp who seemed to be a bad guy who tried to steal food, and he was looked down by Bortus, right? And that was the end of that. And yet they had so much security.
I know, right? Like,
People.
why are these guys so attentive? Like, everybody here seems to be okay with being there.
Half of
But,
them, most of the people we met there were like, no, we should be here.
yeah. And they're like,
We
no,
could be violent at any time.
and it's not nobody's ever escaped. It's nobody's ever tried to escape. So why? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, again, we're kind of picking it apart. It was a pretty good episode on the whole, but there was definitely some bleeps. I don't know. It felt like maybe a two-parter or something that they smushed together. There was a lot of. I don't know how you got from point A to point L. But okay. And like the couple they meet who like had the baby, and then the dad was like, no, turn them in, take the baby. And then they find out later, hey, they got to keep the baby. Yay. And it's like, okay, that's great. But how is that relationship doing now since one of them betrayed the other?
Yeah, probably not well. But that kid's gonna be a leader because he
Like,
was born under a sign.
that's okay. We had another episode where someone's named after Kelly, so it's okay.
That's funny. How many different?
She's gonna like have a list engraved on her.
It's on the planet where there's somebody named after.
Pad.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Either way, I definitely enjoyed both episodes. Oh, at the very end, when they had the joint party.
Oh my god, the video.
The video was just weird enough that I found it amusing, but
Uh,
Boris's mate, his response left me laughing because
yeah,
that was perfect. That was the exact that, that was excellent. I really enjoyed that.
yeah. You know what I really find interesting about like having Clytus there and like the Bortus in the porn episode and everything is like we get Bortus. It was kind of like a Worf, obviously, but in a similar idea of Worf is this Klingon, serious Klingon, and we only ever see serious Klingon, and you think, okay, well, he's the Klingon we see, so I guess all Klingons are super stoic, serious Klingons with no sense of humor, and then you get to see all the other, and I'm like, dude, Clytus is hilarious, and all of the stoic, like, cliched porn situations with Bortus were also at like it's like, oh, so he's just boring or stoic or humorless, and all these others are actually interesting people. So I don't know. It's an interesting dichotomy to have that. And they never. I wanted to know why he wanted his birthday to be his own. Like I kept waiting for some kind of backstory for that, and we never got it.
My people have very important birthdays, important
Yeah.
ceremony for yourself. It's, very, but no, it's just, it's just being a jerk, I guess.
He had 17 sisters, and like everybody had to share a birthday, and so he wanted,
Brothers,
right? They would never have anybody. That's right. Those 17 brothers only.
Yes.
And never, but yeah. Continue to love the show.
Agreed. I fell behind an episode or two, and then I caught up, and I fell behind an episode or two again. But now I know they're coming out Thursday. I'm looking forward to watching it on Friday or Saturday if I have to. But I definitely, I bought the season on Amazon, so I can just watch them, when they come out with no commercials, and it's been fantastic. Totally worth it.
Nice.
All right. The real Star Trek.
Yes.
We've been talking about the more TNG than TNG Star Trek.
Right.
Let's talk about Discovery. So, how many episodes are we up to yet?
This week or Thursday, because it's coming out on Thursday now instead of Sunday.
Are they both coming out on Thursdays?
They are.
That's crazy,
right?
Okay,
but it's good because I can watch one on Thursday and one on Friday or subsequent in the weekend because the Orville doesn't publish to the media until the following day. But if you are subscribing, then you get Discovery immediately, anytime after 8:30 on Thursdays. So 2 episodes in, not including the shorts that I finally caught up on, which were also really good. I really, really enjoyed those. The 3 that we caught up on. So the first one was Tilly. It's like a short with Tilly, and a little stowaway, which was interesting. The second one is just like, I'm trying to decide whether to spoil a major plot point because you find out pretty early on in it, but it's really cool and a really kind of mind-blowing, potentially foreshadowing of why we've never heard of Discovery.
Interesting.
Yeah. And like, I think that's probably where I'll leave it. Like, it's a really interesting episode. There's no main characters we've heard of in it. There is an actor that I'm a big fan of, Aldous Hodge, is in it, but it's just him. And we get some really interesting foreshadowing of stuff, maybe. We'll have to see where it goes. But I think that was my favorite short of all of them. There were 2 more. The third one was basically Saru's backstory, which was interesting. But probably, I liked them all. That one was probably, I thought, the least. It was kind of like, okay, this is all about what I figured.
Okay.
And then the last one is Harcourt Fenton Mudd.
Mm-hmm.
And it's
Sounds painful.
so well crafted.
Ooh, okay.
It is painful. It was so painful, step by step by step, and then you hit the reveal, and it was just brilliant. And I almost feel like that's like a spoiler, because I was just kind of like, okay, to do. This is interesting. This is what I'm expecting. This is what I'm expecting, and it's kind of entertaining. And then what?
All right.
So that was really cool. I really enjoyed it. And it was a good way to kind of step off that into the season. And I had forgotten, about them. I watched the first one right away, and then forgot. As the holidays got busy, so I watched all three of those the week before the first episode came in, and so it was like ramping right up. I don't know how much I want to talk about the first two episodes without you having seen them. I know there are things you know already. Pike is there.
Yeah. I've seen pictures of a bearded Spock, I think.
Yeah, we haven't seen Spock yet, but he is
No?
significantly involved in the story.
Okay.
There is the basic. Hey, Captain Decker, Commodore. The basic premise, without really getting, it's not really a spoiler. This is like the premise for the season is that there is some kind of signal coming from somewhere in the universe, or in the galaxy, and multiple signals, and they're not really clear on what is so special about them, but apparently they are so important to Starfleet that they've reassigned Pike to Discovery to figure it out.
Okay.
And that's it. That's where we're at. And the first one is to go after this first signal. This is the only one we know where it is, and there are all kinds of interesting interpersonal things going on with the crew following the first season.
Mm-hmm.
That are really I thought that were pretty not the word, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know.
There were a lot of loose ends, I guess.
Yeah, they held my attention.
Okay.
And so the first episode was really it was very action packed, and it was a great scene with the naysayers kind of showing up. See, I can't talk about that.
All right. Spoiling. How about this? Is it similar to the first season in that we've got an arc, and we're clearly, at the beginning of the arc, and it's going to be building up for a while, and one episode after the next, you watch them in order because they build up?
Yes, absolutely. The first episode establishes the sort of the season premise, and we have a little bit of jump start into it. The second episode is another signal shows up, but it's so far away we can't possibly get to it. It's in the beta quadrant. Unless,
right.
Yep. And so they bring the spore drive back online so they can get there. And it's one of those, well, Starfleet gave you special dispensation during the war to use this, even though it's against the eugenics ban. And this is like top priority. They're giving him all kinds of latitude, so they probably would let him.
All right.
So let's fire it up. And there's a great scene where Pike goes through his first black alert.
Nice.
Like,
all right.
Whoa.
So would you recommend waiting another episode or two before jumping in? Or, because what I did last time, I think, was I waited until like the mid-season end and then just watched them all and then waited for the next one.
I am certainly interested in enough that I have been watching them immediately as soon as they have come up, but I would not qualify it as excited as I was like poring over the second half of the first season.
Okay.
Like I would have I done just about anything to get all of those episodes immediately. And this is not that case. We're still ramping up, still setting things up. So, I mean, depending on how much you want to mainline and how many months you're willing to pay for or not, you could probably wait. and then we'd have a
All right.
multi-episode,
All right.
catch up.
I'll see what I can do. I'm trying to think ahead. All right, what do I got for spare time? It looks like rain Wednesday,
Sure.
Thursday, so no softball practice. Maybe I have some time to watch something inside. All right, sounds good. Well, that's good. Stop telling me.
It is actual Star Trek though, and it's funny watching that at the same time as the Orville, because I hit, especially back to back, as I have some of those same confusion moments of like, well, what was the most recent Star Trek we had was Enterprise, where they didn't have transporters, except they kind of did, except they really didn't. And then we have the Orville, where they don't have transporters, and then we're on Discovery, which is also a prequel. So I'm like, oh, why don't they just beam them up? Wait, they don't have transporters. Wait, no, they do have transporters. Why don't they just... So there was a level of entertainment with that, but I really like both of the first episodes. There's a great engineer in the premiere that I think you'll really enjoy. She is pretty entertaining in her frankness, and yeah, I mean, I like all the characters on the show, so there's nothing to miss for me. Or not miss, I guess the case may be. I like it a lot.
All right.
Eloquently.
Yeah, I can't disagree with that. Your description is, if nothing else, the shorts. I was just kind of blow off the shorts. I was reminded of the web shorts, like from Battlestar Galactica. You remember those?
Oh yeah, no. These are fully produced. Like the only thing short about them is actually the length. Like it's like a Disney short. These are fully produced episodes that just happen to be, and some of them aren't even that short. Like I think one of them is 25 minutes. That's like half an episode.
Yeah. All right. I'm in. Okay. I think I'll go for a month's worth just to catch up on that, and then at the end of the month, maybe we'll see how we're feeling, and we'll pause it or not.
Nice.
All right. So I'll see if I can catch up by next week when we chat again on Monday. And if we do, we'll go through all the stuff that you couldn't tell me, and we'll talk about those. Sound good?
Sounds good.
All right. One last thing. I came in through the window, is what it says. Was that one of Picard's lines to Vosh when he was...
I came in through the window.
I don't remember.
I think so. How did you get in here?
Oh.
I came in through the window.
It looks like Picard with Robin Hood, so it's a 2E set. So I know it's not you're not too terribly interested, but I love the theme. If it's going to be, Q themed.
Yeah, I like that episode. So
it was a good episode.
All right. Or it could be love themed. It's going to be February. Cupid.
Right.
Oh, or I could read this article where it says the next expansion for second edition is based around Valentine's Day. Ha!
What are you reading?
I know, right?
Yeah, very good. All right. Anyway, I thought it was interesting. Fantastic.
I know. I cheated. Sorry.
All right. Anything else we need to chat about?
I think that's it.
I've created tournaments in the system for San Diego Masters. It's the 30th and 31st of March.
Have fun.
1E10 draft?
It's WonderCon. It's WonderCon weekend.
All right. Well, we'll tell you. I'll report in how it is on Monday.
Yeah, man. I would totally do 1E10 draft, but that's WonderCon.
All right. Fair enough. All right. Then I think that's all we're going to talk about then. You got anything else?
That's it. That's all the intelligence we have for this week.
I've been attacked. I'm right here. I'm staring at it. What? Repair.
Man, I got jacked up between work and home. I was doing really well all day. I finally found a system in the far reaches of the quadrant that has nothing but dilithium.
Nice.
And I've been actually getting a lot of, haven't had to pay pay Latinum to do a research in a couple of iterations, which is rare. But yeah, all 3 of my ships just got wrecked.
Yeah, I was mining in my home system, so that's just
Oh,
rude.
geez, wow, how rude!
Yeah.
Don't you have like 8 friends who would jump that guy now?
Yeah, I'll have to look and see who it is. Rival clan? It certainly wasn't Jimmy Chopsticks
Jimmy Chopsticks.
from Nexus. You're supposed to be one of our allies, dude. What are you? Oh, and
What? You have
got a North Star.
allies? You have fleet allies?
Yeah. The alliance I'm in
Wow.
has a do not hit list and a hit on site list. Yeah, Nexus is on our do not hit.
Oh, that's cool.
I'm gonna
Well, you should like
I'll be
report
sending
him or
I'll
something.
be sending a message. Yeah.
Yeah.
To our dear leader. All right, very good. Anyway, I've been playing a lot of Star Trek Fleet Command, whatever this is, and I'm still enjoying it. And I'm up to 18, and everything requires refined, uncommon materials now. So it's going to be a long time before we get to 19.
Well, I got up to 17, and I'm most of the way to upgrading everything to go to 18, but I don't know that I want to do it just yet. I'm pretty happy about the window I'm in and actually being able to mine things. And I kind of want, almost all of my ships are low level still. I really need a bunch of more parts to pump them up, and I'd rather do that before I.
Yeah, I tiered up a lot. I don't know if I mentioned my my alliance did pretty well in one of the events. And back when the first jellyfish, kind of event happened, I managed to do pretty well and pick up a bunch. I was like 3/4 of the way to getting one, when it's capped off. And clearly, they were not going to let anybody get one for free at that time. But with the Alliance event, there was enough. We got high enough placing in one of the, jellyfish something or others that I got enough to get a free one. So it's doing well. It's up to 21K. So
sub off.
Yeah, it's awesome. And now we're in this North Star, and that's what I got hit with, somebody's North Star. So someone clearly paid to play on that, because I'm only at like 30 out of 90 plans on that.
Isn't the North Star a minor?
Yes, but it is a monster.
Yeah.
It is made, I think it has built for one purpose, and that is hitting. So when you hit a base, you can collect resources and haul it back.
Oh, wow, that's a lot of room.
So if the miner is a monster, then you can hit a base and take everything.
Oh, wow.
Exactly.
Well, I have not advanced to the level of being concerned about that yet.
But yeah, knock on wood, I haven't had my base attacked, but I've never had enough resources for it to make anyone's life interesting enough to attack it. I keep spending everything I've got. So
yeah, that's the only concern I have about actually having a nearly full dilithium warehouse now, is like somebody might actually want to attack me. Yeah. So I'm like, come on, hurry up, get this thing so I can spend all my dilithium before going to bed.
Yep, exactly. All right, that's it for real though. We're done talking about Fleet Command for now.
All right. That's all the intelligence we have for this week. If you are playing Fleet Command and you want to have comments, or watching the Oroville or watching Discovery, you can email us at section31@danhammond.com and get in on the conversation. In the meantime, I am Sir Rogue.
And I'm Sir Dan.
And I'll remind you all to expand your power in the mycelial network.
Just going to try to end.